Stepping up to the couch, it's Brian, who led the league last season in cracked screens. But with his new athletic case, it looks like that won't be the case. Touchdown, Brian!
Why is it that NBA fans are so hard to please? Why is it that every time something happens to a player that's good and a player starts playing extremely well after them and their team weren't playing so well, we may find a reason to still hate on that team when we were hating on them for not playing well in the first place? When the season first started and James Harden and the Houston Rockets were struggling, everyone was like, James Harden's washed up. James Harden's overrated. He didn't deserve that MVP last year. James Harden, Chris Paul, James Harden. The Houston Rockets are terrible. It wasn't Carmelo Anthony's fault. James Harden. Everyone was hating on James Harden. No one wanted to talk about James Harden back when the Houston Rockets weren't winning any games. Now though, the Houston Rockets are winning games, and it's because of James Harden. Last night, the Houston Rockets beat the Memphis Grizzlies 113-101. Last night in this game against the Memphis Grizzlies, 43 points, 13 assists, and 10 rebounds. James Harden's fourth straight 40-point game. And in this game, he joined the likes of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan to become just the third player in the last 30 years of NBA history to score 400 points in a 10-game span. Do you guys understand what that means? 400 points in a 10-game span means he has to be averaging at least 40 points per game over his last 10 games. And the Houston Rockets, in those last 10 games, have been nothing but winning. Sure, okay, maybe like a loss or two here, but basically nothing but winning for the Houston Rockets in those last 10 games. And you remember how I said that some NBA fans can be so hard to please, because when James Harden and the Houston Rockets were struggling, they were hating on James Harden. But now James Harden and the Houston Rockets aren't struggling. They're doing really, really well. They're playing super well, especially if you consider without Chris Paul. And yet, people are now hating even more on James Harden. And we all know the reason why people are hating on James Harden. It's because of nights like last night, where the man went to the free throw line 27 times. 21 of 27 from the free throw line. Man had 19 field goal attempts, but attempted 27 free throws. The Memphis Grizzlies had 80 to 90 field goal attempts last night. They attempt 30 free throws. James Harden attempts about a fifth of the field goals that the Memphis Grizzlies attempt and gets to the free throw line just about the same amount. When you think about that, it doesn't sound like it should be possible. That doesn't sound like it makes any sense. How does a single player almost take as many free throws as an entire team in one game? I honestly couldn't tell you, but that's why people are hating upon James Harden, saying, well, of course, he's averaging 40 points over the last 10 games when he's getting to the free throw line 20 times a night. You take 27 free throws, it's not that hard to score 40 points in the game. The refs are bailing out James Harden and the Houston Rockets. He has the refs in his pockets. He's paying them to get these free throws, to get his points up, to get some wins. That's essentially what people are saying about James Harden right now. That's what they're using to hate on James Harden right now, and it's nothing different compared to every other time James Harden is doing well. Every time James Harden starts to do well, people want to comment on his free throws, just even more now since he's doing something historic. Once again, something that we haven't seen in the past 30 years or 10 years since Kobe Bryant did it the last time, but it's only happened 3 times in the last 30 years. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and now James Harden. However, that being said, I can fully understand why some people are saying the things that they're saying about James Harden, that he's taking too many free throws and it's easy to score. I do think it'll be very easy to score 40 points in a night if you get to the free throw line as much as James Harden gets to the free throw line. But here's the thing. How easy is it really to get to the free throw line 27 times in a game? How easy is it to do what James Harden does on a nightly basis where he draws as many fouls as he does? Now, yes, they might be manufactured fouls that James Harden creates himself because we all know he does it. Everyone knows he does it. But at the same time, no one knows of a way to stop James Harden from doing what he is doing. He has got to be the craftiest NBA player that I have ever witnessed, and maybe that the league has ever seen. And that's why he makes this look so easy, because if it was so easy to get to the free throw line as much as James Harden does on a nightly basis, then why aren't more players doing it? You have some players who do a good job of getting to the free throw line. DeMar DeRozan, you have a lot of great players in the NBA who do a pretty good job of getting to the free throw line on a game-to-game basis. They might get there 6 to 10 times on any given game. If they're having a really good game, they might get there 15 times. But that's just an average day for James Harden. And once again, the thing is, if what James Harden was doing was so easy and that anyone could do it, by manipulating the refs, getting to the free throw line, contorting your body to make it look like you're a foul, all the stuff that James Harden does on a daily basis, why is nobody else doing it? It has to be a skill that James Harden has to get to the free throw line as easy as he does. And if it's a skill and he's learned how to use this skill to the best of his abilities to do what he does to get the Houston Rockets wins, then I don't see what there is to complain or hate on. The man is doing what he knows how to do to make himself and his team as great as they can be. And I am definitely not going to knock a player who's doing what it takes to be great and who's doing what it takes to get his team win. The man has a skill set that no one in NBA history has had before him. He's using it to the best of his abilities, and I highly doubt that we will see another player like James Harden.